Hey everyone, welcome to another NASCAR Thunder 2004 modding video. There's a kind of small update to the tool, but it also has a couple of important new features. It's nothing too major, but there's a couple of key ones that are, I think, important. And I also have a fun thing later in the video that is a little different. When I was trying to find some of the interval data to update the Pylon with, I found some ridiculous things to mess with in the debugger for the PCSX2 emulator, and I'm going to show you guys that stuff at the end of the video as well, in addition to the mod tool update. Just to show you guys a couple other things that are in this update, I previously updated this prevent retirements. It's now a checkbox. It used to be a year selection, but now I found where that data lives as far as how they retire, how they do replacements. So we may be able to do some extra fun stuff with that in the future. However, currently to prevent retirements, you just hit this checkbox. Because there was a bug where it was showing no retirements, but they were secretly happening in the background, and your next season had different people. Unless you utilized swap mod packs, then it should have restored it. But with prevent retirements, guaranteed nobody's going to retire. So you're able to run multiple seasons with different packs and stuff like that without any real issues switching. So it should be nice and easy now. On the topic of retirements, there's another new feature that's not currently being utilized, but essentially if there are paint schemes, the packs might get updated, and if you have people retire and someone else takes their place who is a rookie, then if a texture exists that is essentially car underscore rookie and then car medium underscore rookie, so on, as long as this one exists, the program will work with it, but medium and small should also generate. I've not actually tested this feature, but the code wasn't too hard versus what I already had, so it should work. But essentially, if this car had rookie stripes on it, if this version, this car rookie, had rookie stripes on the back, then whenever someone replaces this driver or takes that ride, if they are a rookie, it should use that texture with the rookie stripes. That would happen in like 95% of the cars that exist in the packs. I know there are a couple drivers where there are no rookie textures in existence, so they wouldn't work for those couple of cars. But you shouldn't see that issue. You shouldn't see that specific one come up. And again, this is not currently utilized until the painters who've made all these packs and made all these paints give me a version that has rookie stripes on it, or if I make a macro that for my program that will add the rookie stripes for the different manufacturers, I could do that too. But that won't be perfect. So, but if those textures exist, then that should work in this current version. Again, this is not something we've used yet, so that's more of an update for the future. The main thing I wanted to use it for, what the heck is that? Okay. The main thing I wanted to use it for was the Vanilla Plus pack, but again, I don't have the paints with the rookie stripes for everybody, so I can't really utilize that feature yet. Something you can utilize right away is a pretty good feature. So there's a couple of good examples here. So I have, in the 90 pack, I have two different drivers with the number 12. There's Hut Strickland, and further down the line is Mike Alexander. Previously, if I set them both to part-time or full-time, if they're both the same status, Hut's full-time. Let's make him part-time just for the sake of this test. So if Hut Strickland is part-time and Mike Alexander's part-time, previously they both have a chance of showing up on track. If they're both full-time, then they both are going to show up on track in the same car number. And obviously we don't like that. It's inaccurate, it's real life. And the way to work around that has always been just set a driver to fantasy that you don't want to be on the track. But that took manual process every time. And you always had to pick who was racing and wasn't racing between, if they have the same number. That has changed. I did an update now that if you set them to the same status, if they're both full-time or they're both part-time, it will automatically, if there's a repeat car number, pick one of them and keep them that part-time or full-time, whichever they're set to, and then take the other drivers with that number, and it will automatically set them to fantasy. So you don't have to pick anymore. It'll randomly pick between, in this case, Alexander and Hut Strickland. It'll randomly pick between the two of them. Whenever I hit generate, it randomly picks. And you're not going to see the change reflected here. It just does it on the output. So you still won't know until you get on track who made it, who didn't make it. If one driver is full-time, the other's part-time, it will always give precedence to the full-time driver. So, if I leave Hut Strickland set as full-time and I just leave Mike Alexander as part-time, then it's always going to make Mike Alexander actually fantasy when I hit generate. But if they're set to the same thing, if they're both set to part-time or both set to full-time, it'll randomly pick one of them to run that number. This option, by the way, I totally forgot to mention it, is in a checkbox right up here. One driver per number active. That's all you have to do is have that checked when you hit generate, and it'll pick between people with the same car number. A couple of small bugs also in this fix. The car numbers here used to resize when you hit generate. That's fixed. The Pylon drivers list would, depending on when you loaded packs, it would sometimes duplicate or triplicate or so on names. But that's fixed. There should only be one of each name that you loaded. The track adjustment table back here in the basics, this should now properly load and save. There was an issue with that before that is fixed. And in addition to that, we have two more things. So on the live tools, we have a car part cheating option now. And when you're in career mode, you can hit refresh from game, and this will update the chassis, engine, and body. I guess we'll run through it real quick. So I loaded into a random career here, or an old career file I had, and if I hit refresh from game, you can see that under chassis, I have chassis 10, 11, 12. They might be out of order, by the way. That can happen as far as the numbers here. They should be in the order they show up, but not always. I know when you sell one and build a new one, they can get out of order in this table. But the condition, you can see the values are here. The status time left, so what that means is, that actually might be wrong. It should be a 1, but it's a 2 for how much. Wait a second, that one's building. This isn't perfect yet. This still has a couple of issues and a couple of bugs I got to figure out, especially with the statuses, because for the body, for example, I have one being repaired, and it correctly identified that. It is the correct one. It's number 12, even though, again, they're out of order. That can happen with how the game stores and loads your different parts. But this one says it's building, and it's not building, it's repairing. It also says it has 2 races left when it's got 1. So there are a couple of little bugs with stuff like with this sort of thing. Apologies for that happening, but I can't really fix that. But if you hit update in game, it should still keep it correct. It's only messing with the data you change. But essentially you can use this to customize your vehicle's condition. And this can go beyond, so let's see, we're in the body right now. Or no, sorry, we're in the chassis. This can go beyond your normal minimum 50 and maximum 100. You can put some ridiculous numbers in here, and they will reflect in the game. And there it is. So the only thing I really have to describe here, just know that cranking these up, you will have adverse effects. The AI will get faster. This is something I was actually messing with to try to increase difficulty further, because the AI goes off of your total car rating, and these are diminishing return. Like, these have diminishing returns on increasing the value. So as you run a race with a higher rated car, like the higher you make the rating, the less of a difference it's going to make, versus the AI gaining speed when you continue to raise the rating. Like, the difference between 68 for grip and 69 for grip is a much bigger difference than the difference between 9,000 and 10,000. Whereas with the AI, their speed should increase more as this gets crazy. Now, I'm not saying to up the grip to that level. You want to pick stuff that isn't as big a deal, like durability maybe, or I think engine efficiency. I feel like that doesn't really do much for the player. Those sort of values you can raise to make the AI faster yet, and that's something I do plan on working on, to making a little slider to where you can make the AI more and more difficult. But we're not quite there yet. I still get it's going to take a lot of testing and tweaking to figure out what the sweet spot is for making the AI tougher. But yeah, that's something that's coming up in the future. But currently, you can go ahead and change these values. Your maximum is what it repairs to. Your current is what it is at this moment. So that's essentially like this one's worn down a bit. It goes up to 73, but it was at 68 because it's at a lower condition. It's been used. But changing just the condition does not fix this. Changing just this does not change the condition either. So these are independent values that you can enter separately. But once you've changed these values, and you can switch between them, and it'll keep your changes. So if I make the body downforce 1, 2, 3, and I go over to chassis, and then I go back to body, it'll still be here, but it's not in the game yet. You have to hit update in game in order to actually see the results. So what did I change? I don't even know what I changed. Oh, the downforce on the body. So 1, 2, 3 is right there. So you can use this for a lot of different things in career mode of messing around if you want to try different crazy stats, or just speed up your the early part of career, or anything you want to use it for. Again, I was originally just making this to make testing for making the AI harder easier, to make the testing for it easier. Another feature that's added in this update, you'll notice on the General tab, there is a section for original manufacturer and new manufacturer. You can change the names of the manufacturers. It's just the text that shows up, so it's nothing too fancy here. But the upcoming 2025 mod, the Chevys are on Chevys, Toyotas are on the Dodge body, Fords are on Fords, and the Pontiac's on used. But you can see that just all you have to do is set this text, and if you change it, just save your core pack at some point, and that will apply every time you use that core pack. And in the game, you'll see there's manufacturer points, so Toyota, Chevy, Ford, and my test one, which was the Pontiac. This wouldn't show up in the 2025 pack normally because it wouldn't have a fourth manufacturer anyway. It'd only have the 3. But this is just a small change, little part of the update that I wanted to make sure I covered. It got added kind of last minute, so you might not see it in other parts of the video, but it's definitely there in the update. Last but certainly not least, in the new options in the update here, in the scoring pylon, as you'll see in a little bit, I was trying to find where the interval lives in memory, and I found some silly things that I'm going to share with you guys a little later in this video. But I was trying to find where the interval lives in memory in the game, and I have this option here for the pylon. Now, it's not going to work when you first launch it. It's going to take everybody crossing the start-finish line to actually be correct when it starts out. But I'm going to go ahead and keep this over here, and we'll start the race. Oh. And you can see that the intervals update as we're across the line here. Also, the order, or how fast this window refreshes, in order for this to be as accurate as it is, it needs to be running a bit quicker and updating a bit more often. So you'll see positions change a lot quicker up and down the grid. It's very accurate to the moment. So the thing is that I didn't find where the intervals live in the game, where it actually populates that leaderboard or the pause menu. I don't have this actual interval, and me pausing the game will actually show you that. So pausing the game is going to mess these up for a lap, as you can see on the right there, right behind Bill Elliott, Bobby Hillin Jr. Like this gap is not correct, and everything back here is not correct, because in order for me to make this work at all with the game, you know, without finding the data where that lives, and I tried. I spent a couple hours, or a few hours, more than once, looking for that data. But what I did is I coded some timers, and when drivers cross the line and their lap updates, it will update their interval versus the leader. And when they get lapped, it'll update that. You know, if they haven't been updated when they get lapped, it'll update that as well. And after they fall a certain number of laps down, it'll automatically update. So when the leader crosses the line, just because there are people that like DNF that drop out, and I noticed their intervals weren't updating any further once they dropped out because they weren't crossing the line. Their lap wasn't changing. But as you can see, if I fall way back, it updates correctly. If I let the field go here, it won't show me as lapped right away. It won't show me as lapped right when I get lapped. There isn't a great way to determine that. However, once I cross the line again, now I'm showing a lap down. So it updates at the line for each driver, essentially, and then once they've dropped out, after you're about 3-4 laps down, I forget what I set it to exactly. It might have been 5 even, but once you're a certain number of laps down or more, it'll update when the leader hits the line. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So the biggest part of this update, I think, was the pylon and the chaos mode that you're going to see in the next couple of minutes, which is pretty silly and crazy and fun. And I hope you guys enjoy all this update. And soon enough, by the way, just a note, the Vanilla Plus mod is going to be done like for good soonish. There are a couple of painters working very hard, Off Zero and Flynn. Thank you both very much. And Silver Wolf hooked us up with some paints that he did for NRO3 for that season, so we could convert them a little easier. And those all are being updated in the 2003 pack. Once they're finished, once they're all complete, I'm going to do an update to the Vanilla Plus pack. There's probably... maybe I will do a video. I don't know. We'll see if I do a video on the new Vanilla Plus update. But I might not. So if you want to be in the know, just join the Discord, and we'll keep you up to date there. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this part. Now we're going to cut to some fun chaos mode shenanigans and how to do it. To enable chaos mode, you have to, in your emulator, go to Tools, and then down to Show Advanced Settings. It's going to prompt you. Go ahead and hit yes on this. Then Debug, Open Debugger, and you want to navigate to this R5900 and then over to Functions. What you want to do is down here you can click to filter, and you want to type 20C, and if you don't see anything here, then you need to reset the game. So System Reset. Make sure you disable your cheats if you have them on. Go ahead and run through the intro and all that as per normal. And once it's loaded, re-enable your cheats. And try it here. You can try it at this window. Still don't have 20C. You may have to restart the entire emulator itself. That sometimes can happen. So if you get to where you have the start menu and 20C brings up some stuff, you can continue to type. We're going to look for 20C238, this one right here. And you want to go ahead and double click on that, and it'll bring up this window on the right. You want to right click and then hit stub NOP function. That enables chaos mode. Now, it's very important that you do not do save state while this is going on, and note that, you know, saving your game, I have no idea if it'll have any adverse effects. It shouldn't, but I don't know. So I don't recommend saving unless it's a new memory card you created or something along those lines. Save states are fine, except that they will keep this function being disabled. So if you then play further from that save state, it's going to continue to be messed up. There is a way to restore it, but that only works unless you restart the emulator. like if you restart the emulator, then this option does not show up anymore and it won't work correctly. So just be careful with it. But otherwise, this is chaos mode, and I think you guys will like how crazy this can get and get a kick out of it and have some extra silly fun with it. Just to give you a little bit of a preview. Yeah, so I definitely recommend shutting cautions off for this mode. Damage can be normal, but know that you can only pit, or sorry, you cannot pit currently, although that may be amended. If you see a note on screen right now, then that was amended, and I found a way to make it so you can pit. But most tracks you cannot pit. Yeah, this is chaos mode. They will straight up wreck and run some weird lines and take you out and run in the back of you and flip over and all kinds of mayhem. So running this without cautions on is a pretty silly time, and it was something, if you guys watch KG at all, I shared it with him a little early just because, I don't know, I thought he'd get a kick out of it, and he ended up doing a stream with it, which is cool. But now you guys know how to do this and can try the chaos for yourself. As I blow my motor, but I have quick repair on, so I'm able to fix. If you want a real challenge, I recommend running with the damage on normal and trying to survive, but it will be very difficult. Also, like I said, unless I've figured out how to fix it, it's very easy to get a flat on debris, and you cannot pit for tires, again, unless I figured it out, and I'll show that in the video, or I will have already shown that in the video, maybe. I can't even get in the pits to show you where it breaks. Hang on. Oh, also, destroyed cars don't disappear with this, which is kind of fun. Okay, well, pitting apparently works at some tracks, but not all of them, so forget what I said. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoy the update. I hope you guys are having fun with the mods and enjoying the content that's coming your way. As I mentioned, the 2003 pack is getting another update, and the Vanilla Plus pack will soon be complete with a more in-depth 2003 roster, a couple of less guys from the future. Granted, that's kind of part of the fun, but you know, we're using up all of the space that this game has for drivers without really modding it an even crazier amount further. But the Vanilla Plus pack will be updated soon for you guys. I'm also working on 1991 a little bit. That one's going to take a lot longer, but it is being worked on. It is progressing. So I just want to let you guys know that that's still on the radar. And I really appreciate all the support. There's also the paint shop. I'm going to be updating that paint shop to have more templates from different years, because right now it pretty much only is 1990. But I'll be making some stuff for 2003 and trying to time it so that it's ready for Vanilla Plus, but I think I might end up a little bit behind that. But we'll see. That's what's coming up next, and I appreciate everything you guys... as I cause a crash. Oh god. I appreciate all of you guys is what I was trying to say, and hope to grow this community more and get more mods and more seasons, more years going. I know we're looking at doing, between myself, Mosby Falcon, AC Racing, and Dr. Noise even, with his help, we're looking at doing a lot of the 90s, if you know, eventually all of it, but we're looking at making some progress a little bit quicker than we have been in the past, as we go forward from today. So thanks again, guys. If you haven't, you know, follow, subscribe, all that stuff, join the Discord, check out the website if you need help on some of the tool stuff. That's the best place for it. I don't have this new content updated, but I will add that at some point. So thank you guys again, and we'll catch you next time.